Day. The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour. Doesn't matter whether you're in Lutz or anywhere else. We love to come to you at this time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So what do we have today? Well, markets and the S&P's up 36, Dow up 218, Nasdaq's up 186, Russell up 18. Kind of surprised about it. I thought today would be, and maybe in the next couple of days would be sideways days. So I got out of my positions yesterday. Actually pretty good on most of them. The only one I missed, we were long Apple, so left a couple bucks on the table there. But the volume, basically what we're getting, including today, is some lower highs and higher lows over the last few days. And again, no volume on the upside, no volume on the downside. Makes me think that we're actually waiting for something to happen before we move on. I suspect that maybe we'll continue to play around in this trading range and maybe even get tighter right into the 29th or 30th, and where we have fund buying coming in. Every indication is that it should come in about 80-85% of what it had been coming in before. But that's kind of it. We got the Planeteer IPO on the 29th. And things are firming up for it. I was hoping that everybody would be in a foul mood and I'd get an opportunity to buy it on the cheap. Does not look that way. Either you're going to have to pay up, which I'm not a big fan of doing. I'm a fairly cheap person. And that's about it. There are a lot of other stuff going on in the markets. I'd been watching real closely, and one of the things that kind of had me feeling a little bearish yesterday at the close where there were some stocks that should have pretty much turned around, got back into the trading range. One of them was Boeing. It is higher today. The ruling authority in Europe has given the go-ahead for Boeing to get the 737 MAXs back in the air. Pretty much the same here in the United States. One issue remains, but right now they're looking for first flights to come back somewhere around the first week of November. Pretty much everything with the plane is done. There's not a whole lot. A congressional report came out from both sides of the aisle, amazingly rather complete and not with a bunch of pointed dogma. Looks like both sides of the aisle want people to get back to work building those things. So what do we have? All the flaws fixed, but there's going to be some updated training for the pilots, and no what do they call it? No optional equipment for the angle of attack indicator, which it'll have two of. So pretty much everything done. But it looks like those will be back in the air on the first, second week of November. And, of course, the big thing, the ability to fly them on both sides of the pond. So Boeing getting a little shot, not a lot of volume. Of course, day's not over. They had a little bit more volume on the way on the downside. I've just been looking at this at how much less volume each time. 103 million shares. I got to get a drink here. 103 million shares on the July 11th low. You broke that with 38.5 million shares on August 3rd. And, of course, yesterday you busted that with 27 million shares to the downside. So keeps on shrinking. You're back in here, a close above 153.41. I think would probably put it in a low. So it's kind of it at the moment. We'll go ahead and start looking at some other stocks. A huge number of Gartley patterns that are bullish in the market. Maybe we'll get a chance to go through some of those. Apple continues to kind of flop around. It didn't get to the high of a few days ago. That's why I'm basically saying that I suspect that we have a few more days going sideways of lower highs and higher lows. Maybe we break that today, but the little bit of the pullback we have off of what's the high here? 1163. You really need to get to like $13 to bust that. I don't think we're going to get that today. Other things going on. Would like to see a lot more juice in the upside. Some of the positions I had, volume just wasn't really saying yes or no. Again, like Boeing, you don't have a lot of volume on the upside. You have a whole lot less though on each time on the downside, which makes me think we have kind of a bullish. Sorry about that. I got a huge snout full of grass clippings when the guy was out blowing them around when I was out walking the dogs a few minutes ago. It's going to take a little bit to get through that. On the other side, for Floridians, we're basically going to stage 3 for the reopening, which means that all the bars and restaurants reopened today fully without any restrictions at 12. I think it was 12 o'clock today. So things continue to move on. We're going to get back to normal. May take a while, but every journey starts with a single step. Well, we've had a few steps that way. We got a lot more to go, but at least in Florida here, things looking good. Okay, what else do we have? Questions coming in already about gold. Do I see anything? Another reason why I don't think that we've got a great deal going to happen here before the next couple of days. I would have liked to seen a much bigger rejection at 175 on the GLD. You got light volume, so you're not really pressing down. But this isn't the kind of reversal candle that I'm looking to see in that quite yet. Other questions also about AMD. It was up, it's pretty close to the highs. Up about 2.5%. But again, you could draw some fairly small triangles back up to the high. Didn't quite make the high of the 22nd that was 78.79. You're kind of up there, but again, day's not over, but you're about 35 million shares against 56 million shares. We'll be looking at a lot of these charts, maybe some of those Gartley patterns that I sent out earlier to my subscribers, but got a lot of good stuff going on. Good news, some reopening here in Florida, and maybe those planes getting back in the air, maybe things getting back to normal, and of course, good news on the virus front.
If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
And on this day, we had some history.
Then it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 1789, first Congress of the United States approves 12 amendments to the U.S. Constitution, sends them to the states for ratification. The amendments, known as the Bill of Rights, were designed to protect the basic rights of U.S. citizens, guaranteeing the freedom of speech, press, assembly, and exercise of religion, the right to fair legal procedure, and to bear arms, and the powers not delegated to the federal government were reserved for the states and the people. And, of course, they were smart enough at the time to know that maybe things needed to be changed, but they weren't going to do it at the will of the mob. You'd have to have three-fourths of the states? I think it's three-fourths of the states ratify any change to the Constitution. So, pretty smart dudes back in 1789. Okay, what else do we have that we wanted to go into? If you're not familiar with Gartley patterns for equities, I scan for them each night. If you use the Art of Timing the Trade charts, you can get a email with those all in them every morning. I'm going to just show a few of them here, just to show some of the ones that I think are more interesting. This one's very interesting. Well, not one that I want to show, but okay. One of the things you want to look at is symmetry in these patterns. Now, I have a couple of additions in the Art of Timing the Trade charts that I've added, and that was a move higher from the X to A point, which I'm showing with the mouse here. You pull back a little bit on lighter volume, you go up a little bit higher, you get a little less energy. But the real part is, or most of what I look at, is the X to A points on the way up. You want a lot of energy. You want it to kind of go back and forth a little bit, do 60, 70% retrace of the A to B, and then you want a nice, long, decent consolidation, a little bit lower, back to the D target, which case is 431. This is a little bit above it, but the symmetry between the A to C point, which was a 60% retrace, and the symmetry, which was 64% from the X to D point so far, kind of tells you what you're looking for. You generally, on these patterns that do well, you want some kind of so you don't want them wildly looking different. A lot of times you don't want them going as far sideways in the C to D as this one has gone either, if you're looking for the text version. But several of these Gartley patterns around Brazil, since Brazil is almost all about the commodities, crude, that kind of stuff. When I see a lot of these, I start looking for things happening around in the commodities market. But keep an eye on that. What else do we have here that's interesting? Of course, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. A lot of these you haven't heard of, but are very interesting to me. This one's a penny stock, Baytex Energy Corporation, BTE. A pretty nice Gartley setup here. Again, you want some symmetry. This one, you only got a 51% retrace at the top, but you pretty much already had a 77% retrace lower. Your target was 32 cents. You got to 33 cents yesterday. It gives you an idea where you should start looking about putting your toe in the water. Global phone X funds for China, CHIX. Now, of course, these are ADRs, so they have a lot of kind of pops, mostly currency issues. But if you're seeing something like this over the long time, actually got kind of the same setup here for China and some sideways movement. I wouldn't probably play this, but it is. I've seen several, like I said, developing world, China, South America. A lot of these Gartley patterns are in these Gartley, whether are called bullish Gartley patterns, and some not. In fact, most of these in these bullish Gartley patterns aren't even the 222 kind of ones that had huge pullbacks. Clean Harbors is one. This one actually turned fairly good. Not a lot of volume so far today. As I said, I suspect that even that you got some bounces today. Even now, you're still up 41 points on the S&P cash. Volume is rather low. We're doing about 5.6 billion shares so far in the CBOE. So I am a little concerned that we are going into a Friday on lighter volume and pushing higher. I suspect that maybe we could go back and retrace today's low or get that way before mid next week. Anyway, Clean Harbors, pretty good example of what you're looking for in a Gartley pattern. And what do you have? $50.72. Not quite there, $52.29 yesterday. So maybe you've got just a little bit more out here to the downside. But actually a pretty good looking chart. The market did look a lot better. I probably would have hopped on that one already. I meant by looking good, higher volume. Cosan Limited, CZZ is the symbol on this one. This one actually did the butterfly 222 kind of Gartley pattern. Not anything in the way of volume out here today. So you might want to check out that one. ERF. Again, some of these can get long and drawn out. Most of them are 2 or 3 or 4 month patterns by the time they develop and look pretty good. This one's Inter Plus, ERF, the symbol on this one. Again, you kind of really like these things when both the top and the bottom retracement come together. This one had a 66 retracement of the ABC pattern, and over the X to D pattern right now, 77%. So you're going to get more. You got a little lower today on lighter volume, but not much happening there. What else do you have? IJK. Don't like that one that much. ILF. That one's kind of down. ITUB. Did Apple get into the making tubs? Okay, this is an ADR. Don't know much about the company. I wonder what these guys do. What do these guys do that those guys don't do? We'll take a look at it real quick. Okay, what do we have? Range of financial products and services from Brazil. And like I said, there are a ton of stuff out here in the Gartley products that say maybe something going on. The other thing we had that I posted at somewhere around the top of Steve's show was the Baker Hughes numbers. This is the first week we've gotten a huge pop in rigs going back up in the United States. So maybe that's also telling us that things are getting a little bit better in the oil patch, not just here in Florida, or at Boeing, or all the other good news we've got.
If you're a trader in the market looking to find the path that leads to maximizing profits while decreasing risk, then now is a great time to try out Dave White's daily trading service, The Path of Least Resistance. Through the use of options and equity trades, Dave advises his subscribers on a daily basis of the current market conditions and what possible trade setups are on the horizon. The Path of Least Resistance is published every trading morning, often with updates intraday when initiating trades or closing out positions. Dave White has advised his clients of some outstanding winning options and equity trades in recent months, and now is a great time to try it out for yourself. New subscribers to the Path of Least Resistance receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the types of options and equity trades that are available by signing up for the Path of Least Resistance today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com and selecting the newsletter tab. Sign up today.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get them, folks.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're going through some Gartley patterns today. Generally, there's only one or two. So when I see a whole ton of them, occasionally I'll show them on the show here. But a cornucopia of bullish Gartley patterns, and most of them aren't the butterfly patterns. They're the even kind of smaller, less pullbacky Gartley patterns. Okay, IWC, again, a lot of these things are in South America, which makes me think that maybe things are getting a little bit better down there for the a little bit of everything, I guess, but mostly I think it's crude. Okay, what is this? iShares microcap ETFs. Nice pattern on this one, fairly symmetrical. Generally, you like to see a little bit more time between the C and the D, but you got to bounce out here and you've got a little bit of volume. So Mr. Microcap is bouncing a bit. What is this? MCI Industrial, NML, Neuberger Energy Income Fund. Again, a lot of these things start telling me that maybe we need to be watching energy across next week. Old Republic International, which I think, isn't that a clothing store? I think it's a clothing store in the malls, isn't it? Oh, insurance underwriting and related services. That's why I look it up, so I don't make a mistake. Company operates through three segments: general insurance, title insurance, a Republic Financial Indemnity Group runoff business. Energy so far looks fairly good. You're up a little bit over yesterday. I don't see any sign that it should go, but especially if you've got any of the books on Gartley patterns right now, at least in the equities, good time to look at a lot of these so you see how they work and which ones you want, which ones you don't want. Adams Natural Foods, PEO. Okay. Also good, 82% on the bottom, 74% on the top. You're a little bit past the D target. That was $9.71. But you're right now at the 7 or 9.73. It's not bad. You're back in the game right here. But the nice thing about these things is you don't have to give them much room. They're either going to break and go back down to the X point, or you pretty much get them right where they're at. But not much in the way of energy the last few days, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. Don't know what these guys do. Probably natural resources fund. Again, like I said, a lot of this stuff telling me maybe there's something going on in that crude sector, maybe in metals, other stuff like that. Generally, you get a few days ahead of time with the Gartley patterns, so keep an eye on that. Sharps Compliance, SMED, another good Gartley pattern. The D target on this was $6.40. Got down to $6.26, and you're back at $6.45. I would like to see the energy a little bit lighter on the back side of that. UDow, which is the ProShares Ultra Dow 30, actually had a $69.85 D target. You got to $67.96 yesterday, closed back pretty much in it, and you're back up above it on that side. A little too much energy for me on the C to D part, which makes me think that we're going to at least need some consolidation next week. Okay, let's check in. It's still up 40 points on the S&P cash. Dow's up 261, NASDAQ up 188, and the Russell's up 19. See if we got any questions here. Okay. Okay. Okay, I manage some IRA accounts for my wife who will work approximately 10 years longer. Do you have any ideas for long-term investment, mutual fund, stock, ETFs? I appreciate your trading experience. I'm thinking that some money should be left in longer-term investments. Yeah, I would just say, though, that we're getting kind of toward the end of Fed involvement. They don't have a lot of bullets left to fire. If we got right now, I can't see anything that I'd want to be in long term because everything, especially with the government being so involved in everything moving, I wouldn't think that I want to be in anything long-term right now. I think that time is coming, though. But for me, that would be after the election. And I'd wait until then if you were talking about putting any money to work that wasn't something you were willing to get out of in the next day. Because everything's kind of just too fluid right now. But I think by the time we get to November, I think we can probably make a lot better decisions about long-term stuff. I tend to drive like I'm in fog, which means that I'm not probably going out more than a couple of months right now. Things could get much clearer, though. Okay, got that from NVIDIA. Okay. What else do we have here? WTFC, which is Wintrust Financial. A lot of these stocks in the finance sector also making Gartley patterns. This one, I don't know much about Wintrust Financial, but the pattern may be one of the best out there if you're looking for a textbook pattern, especially the C to D on very light energy. You had one day that had some volume, and that was about it. Back down to the part, the D target, $34.59. You didn't quite even get there. You might have a little bit more. I'm not saying pull it up here, but it does look very good. 37.28 compared to the 34.59 target for the patterns. Okay, let's get to some other stuff already in the bag. Okay. 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 Question about TSM. The whole semi thing looked like it had some fairly good patterns in it. It's kind of started just going sideways. I'm not saying they're headed lower, but Taiwan Semi, as I said, probably should have had a much better bounce off the lows here. I think you still could probably see some kind of test back into this 76.17 low from yesterday. You did kind of reverse it a bit. Maybe get a couple of days on sideways. Maybe half of that, maybe all of it. Not a lot of downside. Done very well since the two gaps up and earnings, though. Maybe you don't get that much of a pullback. See anything?
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Okay, got a question here. Dave, I see some kind of legal issue with TikTok, and they may be able to continue. Do you see any long-term on this? No, there's always political wrangling. But you catch some guy in front of a business, and he's got a crowbar, a ski mask, and he's in Texas. And he's got lock picks, and he's backed the truck up, his pickup up in front of the building. And he's got a history of stealing stuff. You don't have to really go that much farther, and everything is for TikTok. I mean, we know that they were sending data back. We've had multiple independent folks in the tech industry de-engineer the product. We know it's nothing more than a Trojan horse to grab every piece of data off your machine and send it back to the servers in China. It actually had a modified internet communication protocol, so it could try to weasel its way through all your local networks and get passwords and stuff for that. So I don't think you need a lot to know. Now, will the government want to say all its sources and methods? I don't think so, but my guess is that they'll just pull a national security letter out of the drawer and tell the judge to that it is stuff above his pay grade. And I think that's all he really needs to do. The question is whether they'll do it, but does it matter a whole great deal? I think everybody now knows what it is. Nobody's going to be surprised unless they've been living under a rock that right now, you know, whether you've got anything to send to the Chinese or not, if you want to read them, let them read everything you've got, just get TikTok. It's baked into it, kind of like a file in a cake sent to a prisoner. Not so sure he wanted a hidden file so he could do a little extra work at the whatever his job was during the day. He probably wants to escape. So that's the problem, is on its face, it's just no one does a lot of work like that, so that they can do nothing with the proceeds of all that data. So I think it's pretty well known. Not much happening on that. Okay, got some more thing. Quick, did I go over Apple? I talked just a little bit about it. It's just lower highs, higher lows. So I'm thinking that it's the next real big move higher in the market's going to be mid next week. We could sell off into the close here today. Volume, just too many stocks are up. But again, I'm seeing a lot of lower highs, and we've seen lower lows, and that's going to get to some point that breaks probably mid next week from the way it's setting up. So could I see 3250 for the S&P on Tuesday? I wouldn't be surprised. There's basically option market makers think that the possible low is about maybe 32.25 for next week. Now maybe that changes, but they're not expecting a whole lot lower, but they're not expecting a whole lot higher. That may have to do with Planeteer on the 29th, and it may have to do with the political deal. I think that same night, isn't it, on the 29th? So I think by next Wednesday that a lot of these things will be out of the way, and the market will be able to decide one way or the other. What I would like to see is a drive down with yet no volume, and this time a kind of quick and fast reversal, not this kind of thing where we saw it was kind of lackluster yesterday and then a bounce today with lighter volume. Again, I'm not expecting the bottom to fall out of anything, but that's kind of it. Now on NVIDIA, I don't know what you're thinking on doing on NVIDIA, whether it's short or not long, but the same thing. You got these big triangles setting up. Same thing with NVIDIA, with a lower high today and a higher low back on September 21st. I just suspect that these things are going to go to midweek. We're probably going to get a head fake, and I'll probably look at taking the opposite side of that head fake, which I suspect is going to be a drive back down to the low of 468 in NVIDIA with a light volume. These guys are selling literally everything that they can sell, that they can make. I don't think that if you're thinking short, I don't know why you would short that. There are a lot of other companies with bigger problems. Okay. Yeah, I just wish somebody in the den talking about Boeing. And I didn't buy it from the newsletter. I bought the 150 calls, and I thought the news was going to be out this morning, and it didn't. It came out, of course, right after I sold the calls. So I just thought that maybe I'd have a lottery ticket for today, but certainly a lot of neat stuff going on in Boeing and making a fairly decent recovery, up 6% on the day. Anyway, NVIDIA, don't see much in here that tells me that you want to go short. We're going to talk to Tom O'Brien today about how and what they're going to do with Microsoft, and that maybe that would also help you make a decision on NVIDIA. That'll be at 3:30. So, yeah, got a lot of good news with Boeing. If you missed the earlier part of the show, what do you want to talk about? The regulatory level over on Boeing, certainly getting the nod to fly again in November from Europe, which was going to be the tough one, right? Here in the United States, they want the jobs back, but much easier. Up 6% today on Boeing. Okay, see what else we have in the email. Of course, you can give me a call at 877-927-6668 if you're real quick, and you can get in before the end of the show. Okay, so we did NVIDIA, did Apple. What else do we have here? Did talk quietly a little bit about GLD. One of the reasons why I think maybe we see a little bit more weakness into next week before we get into fund buying and then rip higher, and probably, I suspect, late next week, start moving higher all the way through the election season. It's just that, generally I would have looked for some kind of reversal signal today in gold to go along with the market. You didn't get it. Gold kind of led us a little bit down. But I think we've got the same thing, is that maybe we get kind of a shock in gold that makes a decent low and a decent reversal. I think at the same time that sets the stage for higher prices throughout the indexes. But that's it. When we come back, we'll look at Twitter for Robert.
Back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as...
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that'll take you step by step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today. With markets trading with extreme volatility and peaks and troughs everywhere, regardless of what you're looking at in the markets, this is a great time to see the type of analysis Basil Chapman delivers for his subscribers every market day with the Opening Call newsletter. Basil has been analyzing markets, providing his take for subscribers to his trading services since 1984. Every morning, Basil publishes an update for his subscribers, along with weekend and evening updates when warranted. The Opening Call provides traders a daily market overview with regard to the direction of the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, along with specific recommendations, including stops and targets. You also gain instant access to Basil's subscriber webinar archive from earlier this year, a dark cloud cover, and essential market analysis. Ride the Chapman wave today by signing up for the Opening Call newsletter on the front page of TFNN.com under the newsletter tab. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Sign up today.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And if you've been listening to the show this year, early before everything started to happen with the COVID, the Twitter CEO is going to go hide out in Africa and not have to be in front of Congress. Well, he's not going to be that lucky. He's going to have to go in front. I think it's the first couple of days of October. Both the Twitter CEO and the Google CEO are going to be in front of the man. And, of course, during a political season, probably going to be some very interesting questions. The downside is that both of these guys have a lot of splaining to do, as Ricky Ricardo would say, about getting their hands caught in the cookie jar in a variety of horrible and despicable acts in a country that values free speech. But certainly Google, just be aware of it. Google and Twitter going to be dragged before the man and have to explain pretty much the unexplainable. It's kind of like when your mom caught you doing something you weren't supposed to do, and you kept on trying to make excuses, just made it worse. These guys are going to have to take their gratefully give their pound of flesh to some politicians that they have wronged, and we'll see. But anyway, Google kind of making a low here. Certainly the volume of the last few days got back into the low of July 31st. That was 1454 with 4.5 million shares. You never quite got that. I think the biggest volume day here you got was 2.8 million shares. So any close above $1,454 would be that. You're not there yet. You still need another $20 to get back into the trading range. I dislike the high energy on the way down. It's probably one of the weaker looking bank stocks out there. See you in about 30 minutes with Tom O'Brien. Sell when you can, not when you have to. And we'll see you here tomorrow. Not tomorrow. We'll see you here Monday.